This draft here for D+ has a lot of objective control because it has insane poke with Jace and Ezreal. So if you're not on the objective first, you can kind of force your way in if you can chip away at those frontline health bars a little bit.
Back now, but also may not survive. As this cannon, that's going to go to the wayside. It's already a disaster as Peter comes in, looks for something here, wants to boot back Perfect, but he didn't pick up turret aggro. Finally, he does, and there's the shock blast. He gets the trade back. It's still a full wave off the back end of it. So still going okay. Could have been way worse. Now we've got a little bit of a face-off. Lucid moves on in, able to get himself out of there as well. As you can see, 3v3 for now. Yeah, mid lane is moving up.
Xiu does have teleport, but I don't think he's interested in joining this fight. D+ have enough control here. And, you know, you can see Showmaker looking for an angle.
Deadly Flourish comes down, aiming, able to Arcane Shift to avoid the stun, but Lucid still has to flash.
A lane swap come through here with that dive, but they were able to match.
Oh, there's the flash forward, and that's a very dead BDD. Nowhere he could go. Sometimes Flash Rune Prison is all you need.
Yeah, and sometimes your jungler takes the kill, but you're okay with it because you're best friends, and it's fine. Well, full level ahead.
Yeah, it's
not just 6 to 5, but a full level, and they'll get the dragon here as well.
And Beryl is also level 6, so it's not that aiming has been left alone. It's that Dr. hasn't been there to pick up CS.
Yeah,
I think a lot of that to do with the fact that Xiu was, you know, did give them a full wave. Yeah, I'm not having a great time into the Poppy here. True Shot Barrage also going to be helping out, but here on the top side of the map, Lucid has made his way in and loses a bunch of his health bar. Xiu trying to deal with the wave as best he can, and that is going to work out as Showmaker turns up with the Realm Warp, and Peter is the one that takes the prison there, as Peter does have to flash to get himself out of the way as well. Xiu wanting to take that pot shot as the 3 bullets from that empowered auto attack not quite going to work out. Be reactive, and that was the top side of the map, and where they can play aggressively, which is absolutely this bottom side. Lucid, able to take away one of the grubs, is actually okay with giving away the remaining 2 by the looks of things.
I mean, with Showmaker having prio as well for so much of this game, he's got a ton of agency, and punishing an Ezreal is just so much harder than punishing a Jace, so the Jace is the option they go for, and then it's backfiring twice, and that's going to be the whole turret here. First turret as well for Feats of Strength, going over to D+, and it's suddenly a 1,200 gold lead. Yeah, solo gold.
Yeah. But we'll be doing a bunch of damage to this turret, as Beryl does have access to his Steadfast Presence, but he can't press it. There's a Magnus Storm from Peter as well, as Beryl's in trouble. He's just trying to walk it off, and it's going to work out, and never mind! BDD says, I'm flashing for it, picks that one up. Man immune for a while, is what it kind of feels like, but it does stack up once you complete the item pretty quickly. First Drake going to be going over to DK here, as Feats of Strength 1 away for both kills and for the objectives.
Fight and end up winning out on it, or at least trading even, as we saw that first gank on the Xiu. As Lucid's looking for a play.
Oh dear. Aiming, picks up turret aggro for a moment, but it looks like DK are just happy to take this turret instead of killing Dr. Not something they're going to be able to do with Cuz in the vicinity unless... Well, never mind. Aiming just does a lot of damage, and he is able to take this one down.
That's only with 2,
is now in trouble.
2 grubs, 64. And, I mean, this is just... The spikes are coming.
Ooh, Showmaker, good sidestep on the Wind Becomes Lightning, but I don't know whether that's going to exactly keep him safe. True Shot Barrage going a completely different direction, and that is BDD picking up a second. Okay. Nice play from KT. Ooh, certainly a possibility. Is Perfect not going to get stunned up this time. Beryl trying to move him out of the way, but Peter is here once again. DK, they were looking to try and trade for something, and Lucid also realizing that they don't quite have as many members up here as they otherwise would. 10 seconds left on Showmaker as Beryl getting rid of the Jhin, but Cuz is still there with the Smite, and he's going to be able to pick up the Eye of the Herald. Xiu, though, answers with an inner turret on the bottom side of the map, so they get something had to give.
Yeah, it's a little rough. It's not unplayable, but it is challenging.
Oh yeah, and it's only 2,000 gold. Make it 3,000 gold, as the outer turret on the top side does fall down. It's a lot of standing gold though. Lucid able to get himself out. And Showmaker and Beryl pushing here in this top lane. Heroic Charge pushes Perfect towards Showmaker, and Beryl is the one taking the damage. The slow is good from Showmaker, and Beryl with a nice flash, but that's a 1v2. And Perfect is doing really well. KT going to take this opportunity now as Aiming says, no, sorry buddy, you are dead.
I love that. They hard commit to the cross map. You know, the first attempt on the cross map, well, they give Dragon, not so great. Second attempt there with Aiming coming over is going to guarantee them the kill and that inner. So a 5th turret. Bad position would have been way worse for D+. I think they're very happy with this exchange.
And we've got the evolution now for aiming. Does complete that Mirror Mana as Beryl is under a little bit of fire here. The curtains have been called as well as the Magnet Storm pulls him out. Oh, the last bullet, and Doctarm's finally on the board. They take down the Poppy, but are they out of the woods? That's the question. Peter's in so much trouble. Arctic Assault going to connect and aiming. Yeah, he's got enough damage. Arcane Shift over and gets the auto into the air. So it's a 1-for-1 trade of both of the supports. Not great either. As Otacon is just going to be taken here by DK. Looks like KT, not a lot of options to get up here. So that is just going to be it secured. A whole bunch of flowers on the floor.
Feats of strength as well.
Yeah. Feats of strength and all of the adaptive force and the experience. My God, they were already in the lead, and this is really not helping. Yeah, they know exactly where it is, so because it was cast so early, they can just move on down. That is going to stop any sort of charge. Should be able to keep this turret alive. Still, only that one turret is perfect. He is in the mist, but there is the ulti from Beryl. Might still be a sacrifice of the Poppy, and there is the first bullet to lock that one down. Cuz with his ulti is also really helping him stay alive. Oh, never mind, he's not staying alive at all. Showmaker says no to that. As there's a charge on the Rift Arrow, Peter comes back. BDD locks down a kill. Peter does sacrifice himself, but BDD is doing so much damage. Aiming 1 versus 3, is that going to work? I don't know about it.
By the way, either, so that turret's still sitting at half health.
Yeah, and of course, because he drove it into a wall, it's not going to be doing any charging, but I think it was good use of it, as that's a solo kill. Perfect, just lying on the floor.
As D+ have full prio on this Dragon, they have control of all 3 lanes. Baron spawns in 10 seconds, and you can see that Peter is trying to get in there and get some vision. Group up from Cuz as well, as that is where the next fight will likely break out. Dragon taken easily.
Gold King still 1,000 gold ahead of his next competitor.
Wow, look at the discipline.
He doesn't. What is?
Look at the discipline.
My boy's grown up. Showmaker, he might though. There's a Magnet Storm from Peter. Shattering Strike's beautiful. And there's nothing Showmaker can do. He does a fair bit of damage on his way out, but now Lucid is the one in trouble. He's going to have to try and get an Arctic Assault, but it does not work. He's just held in place, and that is 2 beautiful kills from KT.
Now,
they might be able to get themselves a Baron.
She was going to try to rush to get this inhibitor turret. Teleport coming through from the Gwen as well, straight to the Baron.
The Baron
might get this
for
inhibitor.
Nexus.
Yeah, and I mean, aiming, getting that push in mid as well. So yes, you did get the Baron, but it took so long to do so that the value is just arguably even better here for D+'s Barrel's looking for some shenanigans.
There's a keeper's verdict around here. He's not going to use it. That is bounty gold, though, going over to KT.
Stop some of these backs, though, and deny them from returning.
2 inhibitors should be the sacrifice here, as there's the keeper's verdict, but Gwen is immune. And that is going to be the kill going over to Cuz. Aiming on vision now, but they do manage to get 2 inhibs for the price of a Baron.
For BDD, who once again is the biggest member on KT roster. Shocker, I know.
Well, steadfast presence there from Beryl. We do have a Glacial Prison going wide here, and that spells the end of the Poppy, but still, look at this AoE. This is absurd from Showmaker. The needlework not quite doing enough as the teleport from Shiu says, Peter, there is no way out. Cuz is flashing, but Shiu's diving on top of him. Perfect there as well. The flash forward, and there's the Realm Warp to make sure that this Gwen is dead. Aiming not going to be helping out here as Showmaker moves on over, finds the Rune Prison, and should be able to get the combo off. Oh, not quite able to get in there as BDD just kills Aiming. That's what that death cap is for, apparently, and Showmaker, you don't need to tank 2 Nexus turrets.
Yeah,
buddy,
no,
that's not what you need to do.
Not necessary to make that move. He and Peter can shape this fight if they can get grouped here. She was trying to block BD from the flank. He's going to have to wrap all the way around to the front.
Yeah, remember, this is Ocean Soul as well. Lucid looking for an angle to try and get himself in there, and Showmaker says, well, maybe we'll just win the game instead. Could be the angle, and that is going to be the soul picked up by Lucid. Good smite as Peter pulls him back. He's not going to be able to get away scot-free, as DK might just use this as an opportunity to win the game, but Perfect gets his teleport off and will be able to get himself out of there. Deadly Flourish doesn't connect onto Beryl as the Shock Blaster coming in. That's an aggressive teleport there, Mr. Showmaker, as Cuz is also going to be going down. There are different ways to engage. That is one of them. Not sure whether it's the best, but it's working out. Aiming, going to get his revenge, or at least Beryl is, as he takes the kill onto BDD. Now they're looking to chase, looking for more. By that one, 4 items completed for the Ezreal is real scary. Beryl, don't know about this position as the rest of KT crash in on top of him, mainly Peter because he has an ability that he's kind of called that. Curtain calls come in. That is a 6th kill for Dr.
I think D+ can team fight. They just really don't want to. They just keep...
Yeah. You can see there is irremovable vision. And Showmaker now moving over. Captive Audience not going to quite find aiming there as the Deadly Flourish comes in. They're taking a fair bit of damage. Cuz down to 50%. Teleport in from Shiu as they're looking for the team fight now. Cuz with that ulti running is so durable. And now Shiu dives in. My God, the AoE is absurd. Perfect goes golden, but that means that he just has to watch as the rest of his team dies. It's an ace in trade for Lucid. And DK are going to realm warp their way to the base.
You know, a bit of an anticlimactic end. Looked like KT may have been able to finally find some semblance of footing in this game. It was a nice try. It was a good ult from Cuz, but they're unable to secure the Baron. They look for the ensuing team fight, and they do not get it done. And as these waves come through, D+ will finally, at 33 or 34 and a half minutes, end this game. A little bit of happy gaming there towards the early part of the late game, but D+ still get it done. Beautiful macro game from Lucid and Beryl, to be totally honest, just outclassing KT in the early game and building such a phenomenal lead.
Nautilus going to be locked away as well. We've seen Nautilus Kai'Sa many times in the past.
So much easier to lock down the Tristana with the Nautilus than it would be with the Leona, even though Leona is super good into Rakan and suits the dive style composition that they have.
Best nothing when it comes to the summoner spells, as Casting taking a lot of damage here. We'll have Mega Gnar coming up relatively soon as BDD's turned up, and that should be aiming going down. The Ignite ticking, and Dr. grabbing first blood in the top lane. Here on the bottom side, KT have started up the grubs though. And Showmaker does take a crab for himself.
6 for Lucid.
Rotating over. Yeah, does manage to get that level 6 as Beryl. We're going to start up this fight. Let's see whether they can get in there. Charm is going to connect beautifully onto this Tristana, and Showmaker is right there for when he lands. Looking for a double here as the flash comes forward. It's actually the bleed that takes down the Rakan. Both of the bottom lane members are dead, and they only have to sacrifice Beryl. They'll even take more grubs for the trade.
Pull it off, and you know, the Defiri ends up grabbing a kill off the play call there.
Still, it's a trade of like ult for ult, right? And Beryl's not level 6 yet, so couldn't actually use his.
Exactly. And
still
they get
fine
the
for Dr.
Yeah, they get the Dragon off this too. So feeling pretty good about that. Well, it was a pretty long con play there. Huge threat later on. D+ just don't have any control here though. And this is just going to be the grubs going over to KT Rolster. Because they have so much damage here, Cuz can hold his smite. Should be able to guarantee all 3.
Yeah, Lucid might be able to get in there to try and go for a smite steal, but that is probably certain death. And so they're not going to risk it. I don't know whether DK can actually make their way in time.
Yeah,
got Showmaker rotating down, now teleporting in. They desperately do not want this to happen. Casting, holding onto his teleport for the moment. We need to get Lucid in here to go for the smite, but it is going to be the Vi locking it down. Already though, Cuz is getting very low. Great knockback as Shiu going bananas. Gets over that wall as they take down the Tristana. BDD just trying to create the space for himself to be able to throw around these rocks, and he does do so. The rest of DK getting very low, but you can see 4 versus 3 in the flash forward from this young top laner. Lucid diving on in as BDD does create the room to get him out of there with a seismic shove, but Peter and BDD are running the wrong direction. Shiu umbrally dashing towards this Rakan, and BDD gonna have to ride a wall to get out. That turret shot not quite enough. And he does escape with his life, but that's about it.
He puts rocks up, they won't commit, surely.
Yeah.
But D+ commits to those.
And when they saw Showmaker's teleport, they needed to get Casting teleporting in. But I think he was building Nabar as the Charm is going to connect here on a BDD. He has the Seraph Shield, but he doesn't have the Seismic Shove. And Showmaker, with this extra little portion of Essence, should be able to take down the Talia. Does do so. This is going to be feats of strength, though, over to KT as Casting takes this down. So that is important. Upgrading some shoes, that's certainly good.
That's definitely a step in the right direction for them.
Top outer turret, they should be able to take that.
He's going to get that and then can teleport in.
Whoa, there's the flash forward. All right, they're looking for Shiu, who does use the flash to get himself out of the way, and there is not enough to actually take down this Aatrox. So that was their shot that they took.
And nobody's doing the Dragon either, so they don't get the Dragon off of this huge advantage they had final-wise.
No, Forbidden Book is now completed here for Showmaker. He'll use that to help take down this outer turret in the mid lane after already securing the top lane. And Cuz is now going to get depth charge. There's the hook to line it up, and the pile in from everyone on DK. They'll take down the jungler. That will be the dragon over to DK as well.
Tempo incredibly well. They use KT's tempo against them. In all fairness, though, I think KT, instead of trying to Weaver's Wall and chase Shiu, probably could have just started the dragon and looked for a turn off with the positional advantage. They had to have an opportunity like that again for the rest of this game to secure a dragon. Very unlikely.
Yeah, Shiu also going to be able to take down this bottom outer turret as Peter was on that ward. Is the only thing that KT can really lean on here, because they're not going to be losing soul, as Cuz diving forward was looking for that barrel angle like you were talking about. He's trying to taxi his way through the rest of DK, unable to collapse in time though, and they just lose their Nautilus. Showmaker level 16 there towards the top side, now looking for a bit of a reset himself as Casting looking for an angle but doesn't get the wallop. Does get the Gnar into the wall though as Shiu. Still, there's a wall coming down, and with the World Ender, I think Shiu should have the movement speed to try and get out. But you can see the rest of KT are now collapsing on the situation.
Showmaker
is moving in. Yeah, you're exactly right. Can Shiu survive for long enough? That's the question, as he gets stunned up by the rocks and will get taken down. 4 members going to be enough to deal with the Aatrox, and this wave pushed all the way towards the top side.
This is dire. This is very dire.
Yeah, Beryl, no Hex Splash, does have his Flash available, as Cuz is going to find Beryl as the Baron does spawn. Showmaker, though, has found the angle, and Beryl was a bait all along. It's Lucid that takes down the enemy jungler. Shiu could be in trouble here, though, as he does have the shield, but it's not quite enough. Peter going to be taken down as the dog's getting these resets, and Doctorm out of position and destroyed. That should be an Otacon. That should also be a Baron.
Turn on a dime. Shiu shows up with a teleport, and despite dying, absorbs so much pressure, heals so much, shields himself.
Oh, Casting, looking for a bit of an angle, but he just splits the Red Sea here as the hook does come forward. Beryl, happy to sacrifice his life as the Baron is going to be taken here by the Nefiri. And they can get themselves over the wall here. Beryl actually can't. Casting could possibly have a bit of an angle. Looks for a boomerang, but does not get it.
Lucid plays this really well.
Gonna have to try and get in here and go for a steal. Doesn't manage to get it, and that's Cuz grabbing Soul Point, I believe.
It is.
For KT, there it is.
Yeah.
As Control Vision is going down.
on the flank.
Shiu on the back of the pit, yeah. As Lucid holds on to the Otacon, keeps him interested. Orbit Deception flying in, Casting not taking too much damage from that one, as the full wraparound here from the Aatrox is so scary. Beryl just careens over the top of KT and then finds the flash hook onto BDD. The seismic shove is good, but it's onto the Aatrox, and they all just pile in on top of this Tristana. No option at all there as Peter looking to try and get out, but he's not going to. Double already here for aiming, and it's also a double for Shiu. The young player, an absolute monster in this game, Cuz nowhere to go. Outside of into the Raptor pit, where Lucid is just going to dive on over. I think they may let Vi live for now, but I don't know whether the same thing can be said for the Nexus.
And you can turn that one around. Peter has the re-engage, but unfortunately not to be, and that's Otacon. Quite tough to defend here for KT, but they clear one wave. Here comes another.
Yeah, Aiming does have his arm guard as well, so he can play pretty aggressively here as they do just walk up to it. I think this inner turret's going to have to be given up by KT. Nothing they can really do about that one.
They bought some time. Only a minute left on these Otacon buffs.
Yep. No Baron, remember?
Yeah.
That's worn off a little while ago. As Beryl is moving in, he wants to take down Cuz. Shiu just over the wall, but Anchor is just going to barely go wide. And the rest of DK now find themselves in an awkward spot. Great double knockup from Peter as the recalls are coming through for both support and top lane. A third one now is KT. They're looking for their opportunity. The Weaver's Wall comes in. Lucid's the one that's now in trouble. Has to go untargetable. Gets over the wall. Doctorm at 3 items, has a cheeky Vamp Scepter as well, but this is going to be denial. Of course, KT not too worried about a second Hextech Dragon, but does mean that they're not getting Soul anytime soon. Cheeky one, though. It's giving them a fair bit of info.
Yeah.
Now, does Peter just go for it? I mean, he could just go for a grand entrance. The hook is just going to barely go wide.
They're going to make the same mistake twice and engage on that Aatrox. That's the question.
Yeah, Peter avoiding a bunch of skill shots here. Maybe there's an angle as there's the quickness. Dives in. They do get the Gnar onto 2. The health bars are just lasting for so long, though, as Doctorm gets knocked up. The Charm is going to connect, and they take down the Tristana. Shiu says goodbye to BDD. And Lucid on a nice angle here. Dives on top of Cuz. Predicts the Vault Breaker, and Casting nowhere to go. Decent attempt there from KT, but DK, they read it in the end, and they should be able to end this game.
Yeah, as you have coined, the wallets are heavy. And unfortunately, even with a miracle engaged there, it is just not enough.
I love it that once again, though, we get proven that Peter's a good addition to this team. Unfortunately, they fell too far behind in that mid-game. DK just looking so much better, and in comparison to their first outing here for the LCK for 2025, this was way cleaner for D+ Kia. Showmaker going golden, having one of his best RE performances.
Faker is going to have to perform well into Chovy here. He and Owner are going to have great synergy, as they have over the years. And Doran into Keen here, he cannot mess this matchup up. If the Gwen falls behind, the Rumble gets accelerated with the scaling this comp already has.
It is empty.
Yeah, Keria hanging around.
Oh, Keen. Have to be a bit careful here, as the knockup does come down. He has Ghost, remember, doesn't actually have the flash. As the flash forward, and Owner is able to pick up first blood. Keen just caught napping a bit in this early game.
Two aggressive plays early on here for T1.
Damage doesn't really matter.
Yeah, exactly.
You have a Bloodthirster, so you're fine.
Super useful item. One of the best for any AD carry in terms of what it means individually on that first item spike.
Well, it is going to be a back coming in for Duro. I think trying to anticipate when Keria is going to be leaving, as the Grub's just going to be taken by Owner.
Cannons on Team Woodid on this one. Just going to be looking for Dragon over Grubs in this early game.
Faker not risking anything, just going to come over and grab the honey fruit.
Yeah, because that's going to be really kind of what this Dragon means for us later on for Gen.G.
Yeah. Okay. That is a lot of damage onto Duro, who is just caught with his pants down a little bit in his own jungle. And T1 grabbed their second kill of the game.
Great plays around Vision here. Two of them now for Owner. He flashed instantly towards his AD carry. Maybe he lives there, but doesn't know that it's going to be a three-man party on top of him. Doesn't flash, but dies.
Oh, there's the charm actually connecting as the curtains have been called. Emperor's Divide gets rid of Keria, but Faker turns up immediately. Orbit Deception comes down, and Chovy is still surviving. He gets the heal, in fact, from that Gleaming Quill, helping him out. Nice work, Duro, defending your mid laner. Yeah.
No flash, no boots.
Yeah, it doesn't
Not necessary.
It looks like he's building steel caps this time around, as Doran going aggressive onto Keen, but Keen does have a friend here, and Doran could now be in trouble. He's looking for some snips onto this Rumble as the Flame Spitter comes down, but now Owner turns up, and that's going to be a very comfy kill from him to answer. Faker getting in here, though, as the teleport from Chovy delivers him, and the Emperor's Divide comes down. That is going to be the Shifting Sands. The flash is the Foxfire enough, and it might just be. No, Faker gets crammed into the wall, and Canyon shuts him down.
Oh, so close to making it work.
And Owner looking for 6 grubs. He should actually be able to get them here. The Dragon going to be spawning in about 17 seconds time. Duro with some vision control towards this bottom side, but that is 6 grubs to nothing.
Second, looking for a 2 Drake lead, have positional advantage.
You see Ruler walking over that switched off ward, as Chovy going to get flashed on here by Keria. The quickness comes down though from Duro, and the 2-man on the Impale is so good. Already Owner has gone down, but Faker diving into the backline, looking for the angle. Ruler gets over the wall. Can he actually survive is a question, as Goomer is chased after him, and now it's the cleanup for T1. Doran is going nuts. Slammed into the wall, and the Flame Spitter finishes him off, but now the man advantage should be there for T1. The Flame Spitter though, Keen, can you get it done? Faker and Gumayushi have the damage, and they'll be able to take him down. T1 win the skirmish.
Mid-wave.
Oh, they were thinking of the turn. You can see Faker wrapping around. Emperor's Divide going to push the cow underneath the turret, but Chovy's in so much trouble. Curtains have been called. 1-2, and he's gone. Pick the juke there. Did Gumayushi, and down goes the Pigeon. And now T1, 5 versus 4, feeling fantastic going into this Drake fight.
Oh man, Chovy feels like in this game he had 9 lives. He kept getting out of every scenario, but not this one, not this time.
Oh, I don't know about fighting for this, but Owner is out of position. He'll be taken down first, but now is the fight going to be won. Ruler with the flash over the wall, the bullet time. Doran is going to try to interrupt it and just cuts him down where he stands. Keen trying to get in there, and the harpoons are doing some work, as Canyon, so durable, gets another crash into the wall, but Duro is not offering any damage back. It is only Keen that's able to do any work, and he is just pushed away. Low health bars on T1, but they juggled the aggro beautifully.
Perfect immediate reaction to go for the Emperor's Divide to push Keria in. There's just so much follow-up here with the Jin ultimate. I'm going to fight into Guma's fantastic positioning and also a Gwen offering so much damage. Gwen Jin synergy seems really high in this game.
Well, Chovy's dead again. He's going to break his arm guard as Emperor's Divide does at least try to get them in position as his Sundisk does a bit of work, but Doran's going to be able to lock down the kill. There was just no way that he was getting out of that one. The feats of strength locked down just yet.
Although whoever wins this race,
whoever wins this race is going to be it, and it is going to be Gen.G that upgrade their shoes first. Very random selection of shoes as well, everyone with different ones.
Yeah, it's a quite a nice variety.
In fact, it's going to be all different ones if it's going to be Berserker's Greaves.
For this Otacon, it's a very T1 move. They'll drop their mid turret for this. And, I mean, Chovy's still down for 3 seconds, no TP. I just don't think Gen.G could stop this. They're going to have to just try to get as much as they can in mid lane. They will get that additional turret here.
I mean, 2 turrets is pretty good, but if they manage to take down Keen at the same time, it could be dangerous as he gets under the turret and he's still dead. There was no way out of that one. Keria is just, he's able to pick a target and kill a target every time.
Get out of this. Remember, Faker already having the Rod of Ages level advantage, but
back on some possibilities. But if the, Keria. He is going to find Ruler once again. The rest of T1 looking to back him up. Duro playing some defense with the quickness as Ona just finds Canyon but gets impaled, pulled back in as the Equalizer says, nope, you shall not pass. The Emperor's Divide onto Doran, but he kind of likes that the gap got closed. Duro trying to get himself out of there. The bullet time will take down the Gwen, and Chovy goes golden just to buy some time. He does fall, but Keria now flashing the wrong direction and will go down for a triple kill for Ruler. The sidestep from Keen as well. Absolutely fantastic on that charm. As Keen still looking to go further forward. It's a one trade, but the curtains have now been called and Keen could be in trouble. Another charm going to need to connect, and there it is. Faker locks him down to even this one up.
And then set up Faker in that situation. It's a relatively even trade of kills, but T1 grab a turret after this. Doran is massive in this game, and he is already doing so much work in team fights, and he's just going to be a bigger and bigger problem. T1 will get this dragon for free, it looks like.
Yeah, it looks like Gen.G just a little bit late on this rotation. They are going to be able to get on over, but I think walked on a trap, spotted out the ward, and realized that there was no way that they could actually get through, so the Drake
back away.
Oh, the cow's so scary, gets the flash pulverize onto Chovy, who will be eradicated before the fight even starts. It's an impale, but it's only on to 1. The curtains were called. Canyon's going to get headbutted back and snipped down. Bullet time does next to nothing, and Gen.G with 2 on the floor, they'll lose the Baron.
Finds the angle to get the flash onto Chovy. Owner is there for the follow-up. Hits level 16 as well. He is so massive. There's the Baron.
Yeah, Keria gonna get slowed down by the red carpet. This fight for the Dragon feels like the real battle. As Faker with the charm, it's gonna go wide because he was on vision, and Canyon looks for the opportunity, not gonna be able to get it. It's gonna be a smite fight. We'll see who is going to get towards Soul Point off the back of this one.
Faker TPing back to his teammates here to get in a better spot.
Yeah, Canyon goes in, but he's unable to get the dragon. Ona gonna get quicknessed up, now gets out of there immediately as Chovy finds the Emperor's Divide onto 3! It was him that got picked off, but this time he's able to make the big play. Doran cut down where he stands, and Chovy is dead again, but this time he takes 2 with him. Keen looking for the harpoons, doesn't get there, and Gen.G, I guess they still got some fight left in him.
He hasn't broken his arm guard.
Happy 12th anniversary, Faker. You're doing pretty well. As, okay, never mind. Crash into the wall onto Ona, and I don't think that Crescent Guard is going to be saving him. Chovy in a little bit of trouble here as Faker looks for the charm angle. He'll be able to get 2 off the back end, and Ruler is going to be his next target. He's dashing forever with all of these resets, and Gumayushi's flashing forward. T1 are going to take this game off the back of the GOAT. Happy 12th, my friend. I was a little early on it before, but my God, this Ahri performance is absurd.
The greatest of all time on his 12th anniversary. Faker is timeless, Atlas, and doesn't matter what year it is, he's still got the hands, he's still got the follow-up, and he and T1 are going to take this first game.
And I need to now remind everyone as Keen goes down underneath these Nexus turrets that this is game 1 of a regular season best of 3. So it feels like the stakes are way higher than they are because it's Gen.G versus T1. They often are quite that high, as there goes the Nexus, and T1 are going to take first blood in the series. What a performance. My God.
It's not it's not a bad Poppy angle, but it's not a standard one either. In that, you know, the Ezreal, obviously his shift is a blink, and he can still follow up and push out this Poppy pretty well.
Nara on the top side, being able to farm very effectively. This bottom lane's also having a decent time as Ruler Arcane shifting forward is dangerous. Duro actually going to pay for it though, as Gumayusi is the one that goes low, and first blood goes to the Nautilus. Carrier doesn't have flash. He's likely to go down as well, wanting to take Ruler with him, but he holds the barrier, and despite the Q, he stays alive. For how this game is going to look, as Doran is still here on this top side. Ruler gets a ward in as he's looking to actually put the pressure on his Carrier, shows his position. Remember, the Arcane Shift has already happened, but he still has flash. The flash forward from Doran is going to be ended, and Ruler just puts him down!
Oh man, Ruler is ready to have a fantastic game here in this second one. Play with it here as Ruler pushes out Guma. And that alone, it looks like it's going to be enough because Chovy can join with his ultimate. They want to respect it.
Yeah, I think having topside control here for Gen.G was enough to be able to grab that for them, as the public execution is, in fact, pretty private there from Doran. Fortunately.
Owner is going to turn his attention to this dragon, so it will be grubs for Drake.
Experience, I'm pretty sure, although he's very, very close to level 5. As Canyon does hit that level 6 mark, and the dragon will be going over to Owner, no worries. Of course, this is a composition that does really want to hit level 6 on the side of T1. So, but True Shot Barrage now going to get flashed here by Carrier. Steadfast Presence as Duro's going to have to flash. Man, he would have died if he had taken that last turret shot. Pretty lucky there for him.
Grubs here
still farming.
Looking like they're going T1's way. Gen.G, even with this topside prio, very late to show up. I say it, Canyon coming in, doesn't have Smite.
Yeah. This should just be T1 locking one of them down, though. I think that was almost best case scenario based on the game state right now. So still fine for T1, but 5-1 is going to be the grub advantage here for Gen.G. They do decide to face check.
Faker in the top lane here and let the dragon go. Not going to commit any further. I think Carrier thought perhaps he had an angle there to set up for the Keeper's Verdict to win the numbers game as Faker showed up there with a Realm Warp, but wasn't able to find the angle. He didn't like the angle. Sure, they're not making a play with this Mega. They're not looking for a dive, but they get the push and they get the prio for this objective, as well as they're wheeling down that turret side, knowing that, you know, this objective gets them feats of strength, is going to get them that turret eventually, and if T1 make a play to try to punish, you're already there to catch them and then take the objective. If they don't go, then you win anyways, and Chovy just holds bottom as long as he can.
Oh, the Fury going to get caught out here as Canyon trying to go untargetable to keep himself alive, but it's getting so difficult. He flashes, he gets over the wall, but the Realm Warp from Faker is not actually going to get taken
in from a long ways away, but Guma is going to take some time to get down, and he's very late to show up to this objective. It looks like he's not going to show up at all. They're just going to simply give this one up.
Yep. So that's going to be a second Drake going over to Gen.G, the first mountain of the game.
And now they can just drop the Herald since they're all grouped, and they got the Dragon for free to maybe even get this turret. The charge alone won't do it, but they have a lot of members here.
Yeah, and with Ruler able to take these pot shots, get that extra damage with his Sheen. That is going to be the outer turret in the mid lane going down. First turret for Gen.G as well to help extend that gold advantage ever further.
Ooh.
Second charge with the last Skerrick of health. As Faker going to get knocked up. He's in turret range there as well, as he wants to just take down the turret. There it goes. That's what he was looking for. Yeah.
Dive this, to be honest. I mean, with Ezreal here,
well, Keen does have a Mega Gnar on the way, but they decide instead of diving, they'll just take the free money.
Yeah, if they leave, then we'll just take the money, and now we have Autogon Prio, and no one's anywhere near. See,
well, speaking of can't see, they don't exactly know where Faker is just yet. He's going to be moving up this mid lane, as we can see, and but still, 3.5k is nothing to really worry about just yet.
Ooh, Faker might put himself too far forward here.
Yeah, Duro's going to show up, and Keen was already in position. There's the knockup from the depth charge, and this Rise is not going anywhere. Tries to Realm Warp, but that is not happening. And Gen.G going to use this as an opportunity to head towards this Artican. The rest of them were grouped up, and the rest, you can see Gen.G actually wanting to find a little bit more of a fight before this one happens.
Spell Shield's good, but he's still pushed away. But this buys time. Faker has teleport when he respawns here.
Oh dear, Carrier might be in trouble. He gets smoked by Canyon as Keen wants to hop over that wall, finds the boomerang, and I think that Canyon has the damage. True Shot Barrage comes down, but there's the paranoia to try and save, but also kill as they get on top of Ruler. Ruler is dead to start this off. Doran's flashing away to try and get to safety. Faker is still dead. which is so lucky for Gen.G because otherwise they could have lost the Otacon, and somehow that anchor lands. Doran just trying to survive. He can dash for, you know, about 1 billion miles, but is that enough is the question, as Canyon should have enough damage to take him down, and there it is.
Faker hit 16. Could have teleported in if he was up 5 seconds earlier, maybe to try to catch and look for a punish there.
As Gen.G just control this area completely. No way for T1 to get in. They're going to give it up. They do see it go down, but there's no way that they can actually change the outcome.
If Keria had ult, maybe.
Oh, Realm Warp, an opportunity here is once again. It's Ruler in trouble, and he'll just get obliterated. This time, Gen.G in an awkward spot. At the same time, heroic entrance, and Duro is still dead. A double knockup, but Chovy's just giving himself up. Owner down low, but they take down the Gargoyle, and T1 say you can take the Dragon. I think it's time for Baron.
Feel a TP, and they just need to have a little bit of defense against Canyon.
Yeah, Keeper's Verdict is going to miss, as now, let's see whether they can actually hold on to this. It's so dangerous. Meganar is almost there for Keen. He does get it, but it does not do enough. Canyon gets into the pit, goes untargetable, picks up one, but that is it, and T1 will take the Baron.
Traditional T1 Baron, it's a little risky, but they had the numbers, they had the advantage, as it turns out, and get right on top of him. And now T1 turned this into Otacon, and they are feeling very good about their chances. Take a gold lead here, and they can push it even further now with an extra res on the back.
Yeah, this is a real turning point in this game in every sense of the word, because now they do have that gold advantage. Winds of War not nearly enough to take that down, and Doran, as we were talking about, just gets to work.
T1 sieging, having owner on this flank.
Oh, another moment for Ruler, unfortunately, in that mid lane. He's just taken out Keen, soaks up a lot. We don't really have the withdraws coming in just yet, as I don't know about that one, but still, they dive in. It's a great hook to try and answer, and the Justice Punch is there, the 3-man taunt from Chovy, but remember, he's just picking up little bits of 200 gold from T1, who are now breaking open the Gen.G base. Look at that Rebel Baron power play just explode. 5,300 is the number, as Keen, nothing he can do. Doran dashing around, he can go home if he'd like to. Faker in here as well as Canyon, wanting to try and take him down, but the damage has been done, ladies and gentlemen. Happy 12 Faker, 3-1 and 5. He was the only gold lead, and now everyone has one.
Before getting that other pick, and Chovy, he does work, but it's not enough, and this might be the beginning of the end of the game.
Wow, this is the first team fight the Ruler's actually been able to play. He does manage to send someone home. Keeper's Verdict gonna get charged up here by Keria, but does instead decide to cancel it. Okay, I was pretty happy to see Ruler not just instantly dead. We need him to stand near everyone at the same time, so that this Nocturne cannot just press R.
It's a valuable ward there for Keen and Ruler.
Oh, Dredgeline going a little bit wide there as Keria gets in another time, but this time Ruler's able to get out of the way of the public execution. Can he get the damage down? The taunt is fantastic, but Gumayusi gets on top of him. They take down the Nocturne first, so it's Gen.G finding the team fight. Keen gets in, wallops Gumayusi, who cannot get the DPS, and now he's the only man standing. Gen.G find an angle and fight back.
What a beautiful fight from Gen.G, and it's Keria who starts it off with a knock-up there. Then they look for the follow-up CC. Base in tatters here for Gen.G, but they pick up the soul off of this and will return home to defend this base.
Looking into, but as we can see here, under 2,000 gold, now the lead once again is Owner, possibly caught out. He's got a GA, but he doesn't want to lose that cooldown. True Shot Barrage coming in as Canyon dives on top. They used the Paranoia as well, but now Keria looking for an angle. Chovy finds the taunt, but only onto one as Doran gets into that backline on top of Ruler. But now he's got friends, now he has backup, and even though Canyon falls down, the carries are left alive. And Ruler gets the last laugh in this one.
He wants this. Chovy just comes in, they taunt him. Doran is a little bit late to come through here, gets on the Ruler alone, but look, there's no follow-up. Why? Because Canyon keeps Guma and Faker busy. He'd won when he has that shield. Now Chovy has an arm guard, so he can make a lot of plays here. Keen, Wit's End, also makes him very difficult to kill. You know, Faker's not doing that much to him.
Here as the Fear Tether is going to line up onto Duro, as underneath the turret they go. Doran is so incredibly low and still ticking down from that bleed, and that is going to be the turret falling. Keen now trying to get himself out of there. Look at that huge shield that he picks up with Hysterics. That's now on cooldown, and he's got the Mountain Soul as well, of course. Inhibitor goes down, just war of attrition here being won by Gen.G. They transition it immediately into this turret. Doran doesn't find the public execution, and True Shot Barrage flash is going to do so much work. Keen diving on in. I don't know about that one. Heroic entrance, though, gets Chovy right on top, and they've tried to split up this fight, and Ruler is untouched in the backline. Faker goes golden, but is he going to survive for long enough? He flashes to get a kill onto a Nautilus, but that is not going to change the fates of T1 here. They're looking to try and end it right now, but Carrier says no. He's just getting them out of there. Chovy goes golden. Carrier is likely to die, but Canyon is so incredibly low, and it's in fact Chovy that falls down. These Mystic shots are so dangerous. Gumayusi and Doran both falling to the hands of Ruler, who only has a Nexus turret in his way before game number 3.
Yep. Ruler says, sorry to keep you waiting. I'm back, and you thought you could defend. You thought that was the end of it. Certainly not. Oh, the shot!
Oh, there it is. Gets the snipe onto Carrier.
Now, the base survives for now as Baron fades away.
They do manage to get some vision. They spot out that Gen.G's doing it. Gen.G wanting to catch them, not wanting to go for any sort of burger flip here, as you can understand. As Doran looks for Chovy, they kept this one leashed. Paranoia comes in, and they dive in. Ona gets there towards the Dragon, but Chovy is right there waiting for him. It's Duro that takes down Gumayusi to start this off, and Keen wasn't even here. Ruler takes out, but the Poppy and the Elder goes down. Faker gonna get eaten by a Dragon, and Gen.G, of course they are. They're gonna bring us to a game 3 in this absolutely ludicrous first series between Gen.G and T1 of LCK 2025.
What a banger this series has come to be. We've got one more in the tank. Gen.G, they had great control from the beginning, a massive lead from Ruler, but they had to fight their way back after T1 wrestled control away from them. Such resilience in a best of 3 like this.
These were some of the best highlights from today's matchup. Which moment was your favorite? Let me know in the comment section below. This is OP, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.
Meme where I just
I think he was actually Duck Crank.
Yeah. And Duro, I mean, he's very good at this pick, and I think it does to a certain extent kind of save the laning phase if he could hit those hooks, if he could actually make the plays.
His aggro range just isn't that large, and you can just kind of walk around and everything's fine.
Oh!
Hook is gonna connect, and the Blade Caller comes on through. Gumayusi staying alive, the flash comes out, but he's in the alcove, and then he's dead. Carrier trying to play Gatekeeper, and Ona's moved on over as well. Duro gonna be able to get the knock up there, and it's gonna be a 1-for-1 trade, but I think Gen.G are okay with how this one has eventuated. Gives him the good old thumbs up, and finally does take down the Xayah.
Yeah, so that's the hook you're looking for. That's the one. Doesn't get anything for it, as we are just going to reset here a little bit. Double stun is pretty big.
Yeah, you can see Ona here as well under a little bit of fire as Gumayusi fighting Ruler. Guma wanting to get a few of these autos, but Ruler gets into the fog of war. Duro is in so much trouble. Knockup does come in as Canyon. There's a lot of bad guys here. Ruler trying to offer the damage back. Ona is in trouble, but he's calculated it, and he will survive. A disaster for Gen.G around the grubs.
Yeah, well, actually, they didn't secure any afterwards, so I take it back.
Okay, well, Chovy is going to throw down the gravity field, and Faker going to get caught up by that, and the hook comes in once again. 2 turret shots onto Carrier. Chaos Storm means that Duro actually picks it up with the last tick of Ignite, and he's going to get flung back with the seismic shove, but he says he does not care about that one bit.
On the entrance from Gen.G's jungle, as finally we're going to take these grubs down.
Yeah, there's going to be Ona taking the last one, and yeah, it was a bit delayed, but in the end it is a bit of a trade here, so no one getting any advantage. Or
quite substantially. Keen here is Cassante.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if this will be successful.
I think he has the all-out as well, and he's going to use it. Brings Doran underneath the turret, and there's the Glacial Prison. It was all a bait, ladies and gentlemen. And Doran even grabs himself the kill. Teleport here from Chovy just to try and make sure that they can get some of this experience.
Over to the top lane, going to the mid lane as well. Duro wants an angle on Faker here.
All right, well, Duro is just going to light him on fire. Lands the hook there. Bowling Ball is going to connect. Seismic shove to buy some space, but Faker's getting sleepy. It's getting late in the day, and Chovy burns him down with the Death Ray. That should now be an angle on the Dragon if they'd like it, but
it will be T1s as there's no answer
from
Gen.G whatsoever as more and more gold goes over.
And it's so likely that T1 just pick up feats of strength as well. because this Caitlyn not taking first brick, if that was me, I would have been running into that alcove and I would have 100% died and been tilted off the planet.
Yeah.
Instead, Keen
Patience.
is just able to walk himself back. It is going to still spell the end of his turret, and Doran will be able to get so much extra gold here. You can see 1.5k and feats of strength, my god.
Either, Gen.G weren't able to get anything cross-map from this. They tried to make the play mid. Keria with the Tempered Fate, totally fine.
As many structures as they can.
I mean, with the natural prio that a Caitlyn gets in bottom or mid or in top, if she's lane swapped up there, they're just saying, okay, Caitlyn's fine. She'll start to narrowly stack up these advantages.
Playing the lane better, having a jungler that was ready to help him out as well. Him and Owner have actually played this one extremely well. And now the Rift Herald just going down slowly but surely here. Canyon in position to try and contest. Seismic Shove going wide. And that gives Canyon an opportunity to go in. Information advantage here for Gen.G, as it is going to be Owner with the smite. An early one there, unfortunately, for Canyon, as Owner has to flash to get out of the way. Keen tanks up the Seismic Shove nicely, and he is not going to be able to re-engage as they get some information. But out they go. Keria looks for the Tempered Fate, does lock down Keen. Oh, Doran actually the first one to fall in the fight. Keen eventually falls down as they trade top laners, but Owner is going to be safe. And it's a 1-for-1 with the Rift Herald going over to T1.
Now with the prio, they just have prio seemingly everywhere where they need it, especially. And it's this Jax, this Caitlyn, that gives them first rotation. And that's going to be the second dragon. We'll see what soul we get. Maybe your Cloud this time. Nope, that's already a first one, so...
Yeah.
Oh, Infernal.
It's going to be Infernal Soul. That is a big deal. Very, very dangerous dragon. They've got an inner turret, and they have 4 people looking to try and take this one down. Canyon spinning. Duro's getting on in here as the Tempered Fate will lock down 2, but the tower is not one of them. Now Canyon trying to spin around here, looking for the Lilting Lullaby as Doran will melt. And now Faker and Ruler facing off. It's like a tale as old as time, but this time, Gumyushi going to be there with the ace in the hole.
Worlds, but we're still in first match of regular season. The trade here will be Gen.G get Chovy to push and take out this turret in the top lane. He got basically the whole thing. He was given so much extra time there, but it's in trade for an inner. Gen.G actually get a little bit of vision here. They have prio on this dragon, so this is where their team fighting can actually start to work, in theory.
Yeah. Ooh, bowling ball. Barely going to miss on a Faker, but does land on the Gumyushi there, as we can see.
I think this should
wanting to get in position. They're going to look for a fight. They're looking for Chovy, but Keen lands the Q. There's the hook, the 1-2-3 punch onto Faker, and it's Ruler that takes him down. The Chaos Storm now doing work as Chovy. He got out of there with a flash, but now he's getting back in. And Doran just trying to play this one defensively. Gen.G finally winning a fight and getting an objective.
Really important fight here for Gen.G, and they finally got to take it on their terms.
Ooh, nice little Glacial Prison there from Ona, but unfortunately not a lot of follow-up.
Yeah, it's pretty tanky. Cassante, they're going to turn this into a turret as well. Keria nearly caught by that hook from Duro, but we'll get out. Didn't have the flash.
Yeah, T1 is absurd.
It's pretty crazy, and they're not utilizing it to start an objective just yet, although, as I say, if Faker goes in.
Yeah, there's a brilliant Tempered Fate there on to Chovy. And Ona has engaged, but I don't know whether they really want this because Keen looking for an angle. Doran is teleported in, but he might get Sleepy pushed back towards the Baron Pit. There's the all-out from Keen. Wanted to get him over the wall, but now he's 1v2, and the other 4 are looking for the rest of T1. Doran likely the first one to go down, but Keen is getting lower and lower, and it's Gumyushi there to defend his top laner. Chovy, I don't know about that one, really wanted to kill his ex-top lane player, but no one is dead.
Yeah, but this is the time where T1 have to reset, and Gen.G are going to look to try to take the Baron. Back from Owner, I think. Oh, no, wait, he hasn't fully channeled, but he is backing. He has no vision, so waits for this. Could attempt to steal, as they don't know that he's there. He has that control ward, too.
Yeah, Weaver's all going to come in. Yeah, Keria is the one that checks. As Ruler, Featherstorm is going to break that one. He looks for Faker, but he doesn't get it. The Seismic Shove going to connect, but Faker is still going to be dead. There goes the Talia to start this one off. Duro finds the hook onto Owner. That's going to force the flash, and now Chovy comes in with the follow-up damage, and one after the other, the T1 players are falling. Ruler gets in there with those feathers, and the Baron should be next on the menu.
Gather up and fight just doesn't seem realistic. Owner doesn't finish his back. He decides, I'm going to stay here. We have to try to stop this. We have to stop the Baron as we speak. T1 are.
Yeah, T1 have actually got on top of this. The Drake was picked up by Gen.G, but Gen.G also get into position to try and fight for the Otacon. Remember, this is not voracious. You don't just get the withdrawals. As the Tempered Fate goes wide, so does the Glacial Prison. Chovy still not, sorry, Canyon not able to get the smite. And he also has to flash out of the way. So T1, they're the ones that get the buff, but unfortunately they don't get the extra flowers that are scattered all over the floor.
Might be the biggest, as you can see, Gen.G are the ones who have all the blood petal stacks here. The secure of the objective not as important with this one as it is with the voracious. But still,
home.
Yeah.
And T1 booked it to the Otacon to try and take that one. So
that was
still a bunch of fight left in this team.
It's really risky to go straight from Baron into Otacon at that moment. A T1 are rushing towards it. Trying KP this game. He is just having a fantastic time. But Gen.G, with this play, they push Faker away. That's a lot of the wave clear gone. That's a turret dead.
And 3.5k is the Rebel Baron power play here as well. Doran trying his best.
There's that TP. There's the voice.
Oh my god, look at how quickly this Baron goes down. Owner is trying to get into position. They have the Weaver's Wall. T1 know exactly what's going on as the Tempered Fate is going to delay the fight for a little while. Down to 3,000. Owner gets into the pit though. And Gen.G need to go down to 3. And it's Carrier that takes the Baron. What the actual hell? But Gen.G is still looking to win the fight. Keen finds the knockback and Ruler is starting to layer these kills. But it's Gumayusi trying to kite and he gets death ray by Chovy. Ruler left alive, but so is the Goad and Keen. He cannot kill him and he'll let him slink off into the fog of war.
Yeah, he'll have some Baron-empowered minions to help slow this siege here. Ruler just has this one cannon minion, but look at how quickly he can take out this turret. Once it's gone, he should be able to then take out the inhibitor. Faker going to get some health back and maybe come over here and try to contest, but I just don't think it's worth it. Too risky to win the 1v1 against a 4-item Xayah. Down it goes. And it goes to Carrier, but unfortunately Owner is on the wrong side of the fight. After this, does get picked off. And Ruler is going to be able to help carry with Chovy. There's so much damage.
But Owner is going to get slowed down. Chovy on a flank angle, the flanking Victor, and they look like they've caught Gumayusi. The Chaos Storm goes down as they take the magical journey to get them to safety.
Crazy
and now a teleport from Doran, who dives in on top of Chovy, does keep himself alive. The Tempered Fate to save the top laner, and it's all just, please, can we disengage on both sides?
Their base is the one that's open.
And it's Soul Point, it's not even Soul, so the Baron, so much more important here for Gen.G at this point in time.
Absolutely.
They will be able to take this one.
And I think that T1 just said, look, we're not in a position to fight this.
Yeah,
we have a decent amount of wave clear. We defended last time around with our own Baron, your siege. Try to play this one out for the next objective. But surviving this is going to be a little bit more difficult. Last time they didn't have the siege, but this time they have super minions at least. Mikhail's used there to guarantee there's no follow-up there on Aguma. They're going to clear this wave again, but Chovy's got this inhibitor on his mind. It's open, and down it goes.
Yep, that is the inhibitor.
And, I mean, now Gen.G still have a little bit of Baron left.
30 seconds.
They could try to collapse here onto T1 on that bottom turret as well. Something's going to have to give here.
Yeah, and Gen.G, they know that they have the advantage as they can push these minions in.
T1 may have to just find an engage. They may have to find an angle, otherwise it's going to get worn out of this game.
Yeah, that is just going to be the turret falling down, though. T1 realizing that they're going to have to defend under their Nexus turrets if they're going to do so. 14 seconds time.
Just so much damage.
Is going to wear off. Exactly right.
So much AP. I mean, they just basically two-tap these turrets if they get on top of them for this wave of super minions.
Another turret going to fall down. 3 inhibitors will be taken by Gen.G. And T1, they're going to have to hard commit on something.
T1 don't have any teleport wards, no way to get around, and Gen.G are just going to get away.
Oh, never mind. Infernal Soul has now been picked up by Gen.G.
I just don't think they can get into to win a fight. Faker has to clear this bottom wave. And Baron's not up for a minute, so it's not like they can trade or anything like that.
Oh, Hook is going to connect onto Owner. King going to push him back, but now Faker gets in there. They know that they have to commit to something as Chovy is also taken relatively low. The Chaos Storm in answer, though. And Canyon and Ruler, they're staying on the Baron.
They're staying on the Baron. T1 can't get there quickly enough. It's just gone.
Yeah, just taken. And Gen.G, they sacrifice half the health bar on Chovy. Still has flashes. Canyon's looking for an angle. Oh, Gumayusi could juke. The fishing here by Gen.G.
Incredible, respectful play from Gen.G as they look for the third inhibitor.
Owner is going to look for a potential engage, but it's on to Keen. Another hook is going to go wide this time as inhibitors, all of them, now on the floor. And oh my god, Gumayusi! That headshot is exactly that, as now Keen, he's down low, the 3-man Tempered Fate, this might be the angle that they're looking for. The Featherstorm now on cooldown, but Gen.G, as long as they can walk away, they have an advantage.
Teleport coming through here from Keen. They're looking to take out this mid inhibitor again as it respawns and push down the mid lane.
Yep. 15 seconds.
And it's back up. What do you got, Carrier? Where's the angle?
Oh, another hook this time. Going to get sidestepped by Ona beautifully.
There it is!
Connects. It's only on to Canyon this time around. Seismic shove, and Duro is already dead. Canyon goes down as well. T1, this might be the opportunity. This might be the angle. But Keen is a raid boss. Another double shove onto Chovy and Ruler. But they are able to walk their way out. Still, it's Keen that's on the floor. And now T1, if you kill these two, they are just dead. Chovy, the one that could tank and teleport to get Faker in there. And Ruler, he's got a Feather Storm, but he does not have his life. Ona goes down, Chovy against the wall, and he gets two.
That's massive that Chovy's able to get those two. There's so many standing structures up for Gen.G.
I mean, Faker and the death
Rose! Chovy gets him!
Chovy, you psychopath!
He's got TP, but he's not going to be able to use it here. He's just going to go home.
Oh my god!
Wait, no, he's actually going to get TP in. He actually goes home and TP's in. Faker, not fast enough to get back.
He's got an army of minions. He has an army of minions and one Nexus turret between him and a regular season Game 3 victory against T1.
How good's the wave clear now? Alone against Chovy. Not good enough, Atlas.
The seismic shove is going to go wide. These Nexus turrets go down so quickly. Chovy is going to do it in the most heart-wrenching third game of any regular season of all time. And Gen.G will do it.
Chovy with the plays there at the end.
These were some of the best highlights from today's matchup. Which moment was your favorite? Let me know in the comment section below. This is OP, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.